Hello everyone, my name is Steve TV Online, and I am going to be submitting Dragon's Dawn of New Riders to the marathon. This is based on the Dragon's books, the movies, the series, everything that has to do with it. And this is actually a very fun, casual experience, as well as one of my favorite speedruns that I've picked up. So the timing does not start when I hit new game, so we're going to go into it, and right away, our timing will start after this first cutscene, or this first loading zone right here. So now that we've started up, you're going to see Hiccup and Toothless here, and they are going to see a burnt up city. They were flying overhead and they saw something burnt. They don't know why, they don't know what happened or how it happened, but it did. So we're going to go through a bunch of dialogue here, and as they're looking around through all this fire, they're going to see something else that's very strange. And that happens to be the kid. This kid is actually who we're going to be controlling throughout the whole time. He doesn't know who he is, what happened, or how he got here. All he knows is that he is standing here, and he sees these two. And he happens, since he doesn't know his name, Hiccup decides, hey, why don't we name you Scribbler, since you have this notebook that you've been scribbling notes in. And is that your dragon egg? No, it's not my dragon egg. Okay, well, it's your dragon egg now. Why don't you watch over it? And we will go and find out the source of the fire and what caused all this mayhem, as well as go find what's causing that roar. So with that, he's like, okay, why don't you defend this egg? You go into those chests over there and they'll give you an axe and a shield so you'll be able to defend yourself while protecting the egg. And while he's just sitting there, Scribbler's sitting there, we find out that we are going to get a smoke cloud that surrounds us, and the enemies will steal the egg from us. So that is our main goal right now, is to go after the egg and get it. So after all this is done, we're going to roll up here and we're going to grab our first one, which is the Ravenholm, which is the axe. And then we're going to go into here and we're going to be grabbing our buckler. So we're actually not going to be using the buckler like throughout the entire game at all, but you're going to see our movement, our main form of movement, which is running. And in order to do that, well, all you have to do is you have to do the roll, which you're going to be seeing a lot throughout the game, because that's how we get into our running animation. And another thing you're going to see me do is I am actually going to, if I do it correctly, I am just going to be axing through a lot of these loading zones here, because I believe that it's some of the fastest movement. We haven't really decided that, and by we, I mean me and the one other person, active runner of this game. We have brought this down quite a bit with a lot of tricks. I found a couple since I came in late, but most of the tricks were actually found by him. And I'm going to be running on the council, and the reason that they are separated are for a couple of tricks that wouldn't normally, that are not able to be done on the council. So unfortunately, this isn't the fastest version, but we've brought it down quite a bit still. So one of the tricks that's able to be done on both of them is this trick right here. Normally what you're supposed to be doing here is you're supposed to be battling this guy here. It's a tutorial section and telling you how to fight. However, you can just skip past it entirely by going around the loading zone. That is a very tight window there. You have to go up and then down, hug the wall basically, and then go beyond that small barricade that was down in the bottom. So now we got caught after we saw the egg. We were going after the egg and we got caught by these guys. And all of a sudden the egg is going to start cracking open. The guys are like, what are you doing to the egg? I'm doing nothing. The egg's doing it all by itself. So then the egg's going to explode and we are going to be freed. And what do you know? We have a dragon. But this dragon is very interesting. We've never seen a dragon like this. So he scares off the guys by saying, hey, if you come after me, I'm gonna summon this dragon on you. So they run away. We don't want the dragon anyway. So Hiccup and Toothless come back and they say, hey, the dragon, he hatched. Good for you. Maybe you can do what I did and tame the dragon by putting your hand on it, see if it joins in with you. So that's what we're gonna do. We don't know the name of the dragon. It's a different type of dragon, so we call it a chimeragon, like a chimera and a dragon combined, and we decide to name it Patch because it's patched together like a whole bunch of different dragons combined. Right here is the all-important cutscene of, yes, this is my dragon. So after this, we have a couple more dialogue boxes that we have to skip through. A lot of this opening is just watching a lot of cutscenes and stuff like that. And right here, we're going to get another trick that's going to be very important coming up in just a little bit. So the first thing that we're going to be doing here is, so we get this terror mail that's part of the storyline, but after you get terror mail in most of the places in this game, you're able to use the switch, which is the left bumper button, and you wouldn't normally be able to move during this cutscene, but we're going to move into this specific spot for the sole purpose of we're going to just roll into the next cutscene very fast. Now you're going to see me hopefully do another skip here, which... Okay, right there, what I did is called switch skipping. I'm going to call it that. We don't really have a name for it, but switch skipping. What it allows for you to do is if you roll and then switch over to another character, it allows for the game to get confused, and we skip past the activation box for the dialogue that would normally happen. We're going to be using this to our advantage to skip past a bunch of different fights throughout the entire game, as well as some dialogue boxes. And that saves quite a bit of time. So our next fight that's supposed to happen is coming up right here. But if we just switch right here, it allows for us to completely skip past the fight. Normally we wouldn't be able to go through here because it would be blocked off by the barricades here. And now I'm going to try a trick that I kind of found by myself by accident. Oh, I didn't get it. Okay, that's fine. That's very tight. You can skip this cutscene, which saves about 15 seconds if you do it correctly. But we did not get it. Come on, patch, please. Alright, so that cutscene shows that there's specific trees inside of the game that you're able to cut down with just Scribbler. We're going to lose a little bit of time here just because I don't know what Scribbler was doing way back there. That's fine though. So another thing that you see is where we have to freeze up the ground with patch, and not the ground but the ice. We're going to be using that a lot throughout the game as well. So right here we have another one of those roll skips coming up. And this one is very important because this is actually an Astrid skip. And Astrid, if you roll past her, you save about 40 seconds. Cool, we got it. Let's go. That is very, very important there. And now let's see if I can get another skip I like to say is important. We save the sheep. Let's go. Not skip, but... Oops. Fine. Now we're going to roll up here. Alright. So after this, we just have this cutscene that we literally cannot skip past. We just have to wait for it to happen. There's no way of skipping past this cutscene. Go. We're going to roll up here, and we're going to do the ice, and then we're going to do ice one more time. With that, we're going to switch over to Scribbler. And Scribbler is going to run all the way over here. And we're going to go over the bridge and knock down this next tree. And then we're going to go into the next area where normally you wouldn't be able to skip this section once again, but we have to wait just a second for Patch to get in here. We're going to roll and skip the fight once again. Alright, and with that, we're going to be controlling Scribbler for quite a bit coming up right here. We're going to make it easier, we're just going to roll over that, and then we're going to do an up warp. Now, these up warps we're going to be using a couple times throughout the game, and this one is very important because it allows for us to skip this fight. Otherwise, there's no other way to skip past this fight. So, we're running down this way, and we're just going to leave Patch back there while we go to the next section. So here we go. All the way down, and over this way. We're going to roll through all those, otherwise we can't go through. And now, hopefully I will get this correctly. Stand in this specific spot. I rolled, and that is perfect. We also didn't get hit by those. And that skipped, once again, another fight. So as you can see, a lot of these are just memorization of where you need to roll in order to skip past a bunch of stuff. Now, I'm not saying that I will hit all of them, because some of them are just very difficult, and for some reason I struggle with them. But, that's fine. Like, this one coming up right here. I struggle with this one quite a bit. I don't actually know where it's at. Good, we got it. I had to wait a little bit for Patch or Scribbler to get in, and now we're gonna do another one right there, and that's the last one of this area. We're gonna go up here, and we are gonna talk to Astrid. So that is Ravenholm, the first area. Awesome, awesome. Alright, now we are into Ravenholm Ruins. And the Ravenholm Ruins, we have quite a few skips that we can also do, and also we are going to be coming up on our first boss. And the first boss is quite fun. You'll see why. There's a couple of different things that I can try and manipulate to make it go a little bit faster, but also some, if I mess it up, it's not that big of a deal. It's very easy. It's meant to be very easy. It's the first boss. But we have a little bit to do before that, though. We have quite a few skips. The first thing that I'm going to do here, though, is to make it a little bit easier, we're going to, since we are Patch, we're going to switch right over to hit Scribbler here, and we're going to roll right there, where that skips a cutscene. And then we have this cutscene that we can't skip. It's impossible. And there's 3 pathways for us to take. We are going to take the left path, and only the left path for right now. And then we're going to see these switches. We're going to hit this switch, and we're going to roll up here as much as we can. Sometimes you can get lucky and make it so you can control it while moving, and this is another cutscene I've tried to learn to skip that. I've skipped it one other time, but never got it to work. So now we're going to hit the switch, and hopefully Patch is in the right area. I did not make it. That's fine. You can roll through this area to get Patch through there. So we're going to do it, set this up as well the same way. So I got the switch and I rolled through, which skipped having having to watch that. Instead, it allowed for us to move. So now this is our first boss phase. We are actually going to, well, not boss. This is not a boss. These are our enemies that we actually have to fight. That was a really good fight, actually. I've never tried that before. I wanted to try something new. So with that, that was the last time that we're actually going to be using the axe, because right now we're going to be getting our archaic hammer, and that's our new weapon that we're going to get. Roll up, roll diagonal, then straight up. Cool. So, that was a little bit of a glitch. If you load back to the front of the dungeon while you're in the middle of another cutscene, then that will happen. 1 second, let me focus here. Cool. So, right there's another upwarp. That allows for us to completely skip having to go through most of the dungeon here by upwarping there. There's a whole area on the right-hand side that you're supposed to be going through in order to be able to hit that, but if you upwarp there, it completely skips it. Alright, and with that, we have now solved this very difficult puzzle. And now we're going to run out this way, and we have another puzzle that we have to solve. Luckily, I know which way to move it. Now, this took me a little bit to memorize, but here we go. We're going to move this over this way. We're going to go up here, and we're going to hit this over. Oops. Oopsie, that's fine. Let's try this again. There we go. Hit that over, hit this over, and then we're going to roll through here, and we're going to hit that. Not that big of an issue. Alright, and now we're on to... Oh, we didn't get... Oh, good. Okay. So you can get stuck on those dragons and waste a ton of time there. However, we got lucky and we were able to run around them. And now we're going through here into the first area here, where we meet Air. Air is our main villain of the entire game. Right now, we don't know why she's in here, or why she's controlling all the dragons. We just know that it is her that is doing it. So, we are gonna try and go after her. So, we are going to run over here, and I switched over to Patch for the sole purpose of starting off this first boss here, coming up. And our first boss is going to be the Hot Purple. The Hot Purple, there's a couple of tricks here, if I can get them to work. I still not 100% sure how to actually do it, but I will try and explain how I'm doing it if I do it. So right here is the hot purple, and you will notice that there's a little bit of poison on the back of the hot purple there, and that poison is what is causing them to be evil. And air is actually the reason that that poison is on their back. It makes them go evil, and she's able to control them that way. So instead of actually killing the dragon all the way, we are going to just hurt it. Alright, go through, please. So we're gonna make him run into this pillar here. Oh, that's fine. We're gonna roll up here, and we're going to attack. There we go. So what I'm trying to do here is, if I can get this correctly, you can manipulate him to actually... Yes! Okay, that's good. That completely skips an entire phase. Oh. Okay, right there we completely skipped another phase. Normally she's supposed to... You saw her run away like she did before. Ah! This is really slow, that's fine. Please, 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 please! This is really bad. We're not gonna get the other manipulation because we somehow didn't get Patch over to the other side. Didn't move at all. So you can manipulate this way as well, if you get there fast enough. So, since I got hit quite a bit, we won't be able to do the other manipulation on air. Okay, that's what we were supposed to do multiple times before. So now we just have to dodge. Hopefully kill her there. There we go. Alright, so now we are done with this first fight. Unfortunately, that was very terrible. And if we would have been able to have Patch down, we could have manipulated the hot purple one more time, and it would have saved a lot more time. And since we've defeated the hot purple, he is now out of the control of air here. Luckily, I did not die. That's all I care about. Because if you die, then you end up wasting a ton of time. So, this is another one of those cutscenes you're not supposed to be moving around in. But since there was a terror mail, you're able to move around, which I like to do this. I like to do this stupid glitch all the time. All that's happening right here is we find that because he's a chimera and a dragon at the same time, Patch is actually changing and growing a lot faster than he should. Oh, and also, Scribbler is supposed to be on the back of Patch right now, but he's not. He's just riding off, and that's what happens when you get a glitch like that. Alright, and with that, we are now able to fly with Patch and ride in the back. We are now a dragon rider. So this is just a little bit of dialogue saying, hey, this is how you fly. But with us, we're just going to go over this way. We know exactly where we need to go, and we're going to hit the... We're going to hit the campground, go down to the campground, and get to the next cutscene. Right here. And we're just going to have a little bit more fun again with moving around when we're not supposed to be. But something very important that's going to be happening here is after the whole cutscene, you have to know when the cutscene ends. Once the cutscene ends, you want to fly off into the distance as quickly as possible, otherwise you're going to get stuck in a cutscene. That wastes about 20 seconds, I would say, 15, 20 seconds. So hopefully we don't run into that. We're going to have Hiccup talk. He's going to scream, woohoo! And then we're going to get the terror mail. After he says, I got the shop, we're going to get the terror mail. The shop, we are not going to be buying anything special at all. We're going to get the terror mail, and then we're going to be running away. Because we can. And then Astra talks. Then we want to fly off as quickly as possible. Now we just completely skipped having to read most of that dialogue down below. It's just saying that you can take off at any time that you want to. Here we go. We're going to go over to our next area, which is Vulcan Mountain. So they show you the way, but they point you the wrong direction in the way that you're supposed to be going in order to go to the next objective. So as long as you know where you're going, then you should be safe. Oh, and then another thing about Vulcan Mountain is this is actually my favorite area in the entire game. It has some of the funniest skits in the entire thing, and it's very easy. This is where you'll see that this game is very, very, very easy to break. Like, super, super easy to break. You'll see why in a minute, but first we get to have fun and fly really, really close to the water, just because. We don't know what's faster, just flying to it or going down below, but it just seems like this makes it go a little bit faster, so we just do it. Alright, so one thing that I just decided to start trying is stopping. I know exactly when they're going to tell me that you can land. So if I stop in midair, because usually you have to stop anyway, and it wastes a little bit of time. If you stop before that, then you're at 1 second here. Let's... Okay, we skipped Astrid once again, which is good. We don't have to worry about her telling us stuff. And now we're going to shoot that. Normally you would wait for it to show up here, but as long as we hit it, we will now walk up automatically to it. And we can go right here, go up, and that's a major skip with skipping Astrid. Another 40-second save. Like I said, every time that we skip Astrid, it's 40 seconds that we've potentially saved. Alright, coming up in here, we have another fight skip. I'm gonna wait for Scribbler to get in here a little bit more. Okay, we're good. Let's run around these guys, and hopefully Scribbler does not get killed. Otherwise, this is where doing a lot of the skips kind of sucks, because sometimes Scribbler can die, and you have to run all the way back. So right here, we're going to roll over that, go a little bit out of bounds over that ice patch, and go out of bounds, and this allows for us to go to the end of the puzzle and solve it very, very easily. Ah, I was close. So what I did there is I switched to Scribbler. After I did that lightning attack, it allowed for me to gain control of Scribbler when you're usually not supposed to. So right here, we're going to try and do another fight skip. That one is very difficult, but as long as you know where you're going, then it's fine. So right here is one of the first skips that was found in this game. It's kind of sensitive. There we go. So now we're out of bounds going over to this way, hopping up here and completely skipping another puzzle section. Like I said, this game is very broken. And this is why it makes it so fun to run. So right here, normally you're supposed to be fighting them, but you can just run around that they give you. And of course, I'm going to get caught every time. There is a point where you can actually not get caught by this, but I don't know how. So now we're going to go down here as Patch and run up here, and we are going to go around and finish that puzzling section. So right here is another area that we skip a fight, rolling past that specific area. And this is one more area. No, not this area, sorry. I was a little bit ahead of myself, but there's another area coming up where you can get caught. I've only been caught on it like twice ever. Not caught as in getting caught in the the net. So right here, this section is one of the sections where we have a PC exclusive trick. What you can do is you can turn off the VSync in the game, and that would allow for you to completely skip having to run all the way up here and just run through it with your VSync by pushing Scribbler through the walls with patch. But it's not that much of a time waste. One thing I wanted to point out also is I'm on the Xbox Series X, which reduces the loading time down by 10 to 15 seconds each time, so this is optimally the best category that you want to run, or platform you want to run on. So we're going to run down here, and we are going to roll through here. We're going to keep Scribbler, sorry. We're going to keep Scribbler for the sole purpose of the next trick is actually only for Scribbler. So we're going to go over here, we're going to run on here, and then we're going to roll. We're going to switch, and that up-warped us to that next area. Now we're going to switch over to patch here and do the same exact thing and a little bit different. We're going to roll. There we go. We got over the first one. And I've been messing that up recently. Get out of the way! There we go. That's fine. I mean, doing all these skips... Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, really? Alright, that was another fight skip. So this gets to show exactly what happens if you manage to miss a fight skip. So normally you would be able to just roll through, but if you do mess one of them up, you can just run out of the way, and the barrier will be down anyway. So even if you mess it up, you still get a chance to fix it. Right. And with that, we have this next puzzle, which this is like the only room in the entire Vulcan Mountain that doesn't have a skip involved with it. So we have to do this the same way that you would casually, which is to hit all of these statues right here. Then we're gonna go over here, we're gonna hit that statue and go across. Now the thing is, if we could find a skip through in this room here, we would be able to just go to the very end all the way over here, because you can actually jump down into the center there and do up warps. Alright, so we're gonna... I think it's the second one anyway. There we go. We skipped another fight once again. And let's head up. I didn't get it. So sometimes if you aim it correctly, you can actually hit that lightning statue at the same time as that cutscene is happening, so this will move around faster. So right here is my favorite, one of my favorite skips in the entire game. It's very easy to do. All we're going to do is we're going to run off the edge over here, roll over this way, and then we're going to use the lightning, and we have just solved a very, very long puzzle that involves you having to go all the way around and hit a bunch of different lightning puzzles in a specific order in order to pass it. So with that, we are going to go into here, and we have one more skip in this section here, and hopefully we get it. Perfect. That was our last skip for Vulcan Mountain. And with that, we are going to go into the ruins. So that skip that I did there at the very end is just like a skip to... is just a cutscene that shows you the dragon down below, like flying. So now that we're done with that, we are going into Vulcan Mountain Ruins. And with this is when I start freaking out a little bit, because the boss in here, I struggle with quite a bit. I have died plenty of times to this, but I should be okay. Alright, but this is right here is a cutscene. Usually when you get into the ruins, there's a cutscene that you just can't skip. This is the only like asteroid stuff that you actually have to watch. Unless you mess up one. Bye! Alright. So here we go. We're going to go this way, and we're going to jump down here. We switch over to patch for us to hit that, and then we're going to run down here, and we're going to dodge those guys and get over here and hit that. And now Patch is going to come running over here by himself, which is really good for us. And we are going to control him, run into here, then we're going to run down here, go all the way over here. Then we're going to hit this one over this way, and we're going to hit this that way, and then down. Easy puzzle to solve. Not that big of an issue. And now we're going to go up here, and we're going to actually roll onto this. Open that up, make sure that we're on it really quick, and then we're going to roll over this way, run over here, wait for those to go, then we're going to hit this, roll back onto this, fall off the edge for the sole purpose of us getting up here a little bit faster. So we got that, that's good. Now we're going to go into this next area, and there's going to be a switch that's going to be popping up and down. You see it switching back and forth. If we go fast enough, we will get the fastest cycle that we can get. So let's see, we got up here, let's see if we can hit it. Nice, we got it. Perfect. Just take your time, otherwise if you freak out, and you'll end up missing it every time. Alright. So right here is another puzzle to solve. You can hit it, and then you can roll. It's a lot faster way to get up to it. Plus, you don't have to wait for the stun that you have after you use the hammer, because the hammer is so big, it's a lot clunkier, and see, you have to wait just a second. So if you're rolling, you can get to the ice block a lot faster than you normally would. So right here, we're going to go all the way back down, and we have to finish solving the puzzle here. And that puzzle is to move this over here, hit this up there, and then we're going to hit it all the way around. And sometimes I really wish I knew how, but one other time before, I was able to move Scribbler all the way over this way while I was in the middle of that cutscene. No, we want Scribbler out here. Then we're going to run all the way down here. We're going to hit this ice over this way. We're going to run through. Then we're going to switch over to Patch for this purpose right there. Then we can roll out, go back down this way. And then we are going to go onto the switch over to Scribbler and run over while the cutscene is still happening. Run all the way over here, get up part way, and then we're going to switch back over to Patch, who is then in turn going to hit that way over there. And with that, we are now going to go back to the beginning of this area. We're going to go back over this way, back down here, and we are going to go over that ice block that we hit below. So this one doesn't have as many skips and tricks as the other ones did, but there's still a lot to remember. Like, coming up here, I used to, in my earlier days of running this game, I used to go into that room, wasting a bunch of time, and now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to turn back around and hit that as quickly as possible. That was really good. That's really easy to miss. And then we're going to run all the way down here, switch over to Patch, because we're going to finish up this area by doing another puzzle here. Go down here, wait for that to go up, and go over, down, and over. Then we're going to roll up here a couple of times, get right next to the door, which is really good. And then we're going to use this to go back to the main area and then run up, because we are done in this section. Now we have one more skip. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, wait, that's fine. You can skip this useless cutscene once again. Alright, and now we are basically done with this, and we are going into the next boss, which is Stormcutter. Holy crap. Stormcutter is very, very dangerous. Since we don't pick up any health upgrades or anything, or any potions, this is, in my opinion, the most dangerous boss in the entire game, because I struggle with him for some reason. So, now we're going into this, and we see Stormcutter has, once again, one of those poison balls on it. We find out that Air is actually controlling it because she lost her dragon and her father, and the dragons ended up killing off her father. So she wants to control all the dragons and destroy all the remaining dragons, so she can have a dragon and nobody else can have one of their own. Which is actually a very sad story once you play this casually. But right now, since we're just skipping through it, it's just a fast kind of thing that we have to try and just speak through. And at one point we say, you can join us, just stop controlling all these dragons. They've done nothing wrong to you, we've done nothing wrong to you. It was just one bad dragon. Alright, so this boss, the first phase right here, we're gonna wait until it starts blowing, lifting its head up into the air before we dodge out of the way. This first phase is very, very simple. We're gonna dodge. We don't want to move earlier before that, otherwise it starts following you and it can get a little bit dangerous. Alright, that's fine. This is a much better spot. We're gonna roll up. Ooh, that's how it can get dangerous. I rolled a little bit too late and I need him for later on. So we're gonna stand right here for the sole purpose of he's going to be doing that. Alright, I'm in a good spot. So we're gonna wait and shoot it right now so we get it instantly. Alright, that was good, that was good. So air comes down and we're gonna try and attack her as fast as possible. So now this next phase is just going up and, or is going down each way. So you have to try and get to one of the ice blocks to not get hurt. But the problem is if you see one falling from the shadows and you get too close to it beforehand, you can get hurt from the ice. So it's very dangerous in that sense as well. Alright, so we're done with this phase. So now we're going to try and hit this a little bit early. 1, 2, 3, hit it. Oh, we messed it up. That's fine. So now air is going to come down once again. If we can do this good, if we can get Scribbler to distract her, we can hit her early like that, which was really good. That's exactly what you want. You want to run right in front of her, right as she's about to attack. So now comes the very difficult phase, in my opinion. You have to know that they're going to come from the bottom, this first one. Then the next one is going to be coming from the top, but it's coming from the other side. Knowing where it's coming from is the most important part of this fight. If you don't have this memorized, then it is troubling. Alright. So now it's coming from the bottom again, but we don't know where they're going to spawn from, so they're going to be coming from there. Ooh, this is not a good area for me to be in. I knew that was going to happen, that's fine though. As long as I don't get hit, as long as Patch has health. Alright, here's the next phase, which is very much like one of the other phases. Alright, we are good. Now we just have to not die on the last air phase, which can easily happen. We're going to hit the dragon one more time here. Oh, we messed that up quite a bit. So once again, we want to try and get her to go after... Alright. Cool. We completed the fight without having to worry about it. Alright. Alright. After I get past this area, this boss fight, I feel a lot more comfortable with being able to finish a run. And that was actually a really fast fight. That was really, really good. So we'll take that. So now it's just a lot of going and mashing through buttons, because there isn't really any glitched cutscenes that we can do at this point. Yeah, so once I'm past that area, I feel a lot more comfortable being able to finish a run. Alright, and with that, because he's that Chimeragon, like I was saying before, he's going to grow up one more time. But with each time that he's able to grow, he gains another power. So with this, he now gains... Patch now gains fire. He's kind of like like Aang from Last Airbender. He gains powers over and over again. And just like that, we are on to the next area. Alrighty. So, now on to the next area. We're just going to start flying right away, so we can get to the cutscenes as quickly as possible. There's useless cutscenes in each one of these flying sections, and this isn't the only one going back, because we have to go back to Ravenholm for the next area, so we're just going to fly down once again and have a little bit of fun. These transfer areas are kind of boring, that's why we, like I said, that's why we just go down here. We're not sure what's faster. So as you can see up above, our little dragon friends that we ended up destroying are now just flying up above. And now we're going into Ravenholm here. And we're gonna get this cutscene right here. Another useless one. Alright, so right here is another just a bunch of talking, and because of it, we get, once again, another fun area to just walk around as Patch and see how far we can get. So we're Scribbler right now, that's fine. We're gonna get this. There's our Terror Mail, and now we get to have fun just walking around. You can hear me attacking with the lightning in the background, which is hilarious to me. So, right here we're just mashing, attacking. And then we're gonna fly away. As you saw, we are way over by the water for some reason. We made it over that far. And now the last area that we're going to be heading off to is Briar. Briar, I struggle with a little bit, but we should be good. Not too worried, too worried about it. So here's our next cutscene. This is it, Patch. There's no turning back if you go this way. That's basically what that cutscene was saying. And now we're flying. So a lot of these in-between areas are probably some of the best times that donations could be read, because there's nothing really going on, just flying. Alright, and we're getting to the next area. And Briar. Briar is... there's quite a few skips in here as well. There's not a lot of... not as much as in Vulcan. There's a lot of just skipping over switches and up and down warps. But most importantly, we have one more asteroid skip in this section, if I roll in the correct spot. There we go, we got the asteroid skip, which is really good. And after that, we have one more skip coming in right here, if I can get it. Wait for... Cool. We need to make sure we destroy both of those, so Scribbler gets in here as well. So there's one that I rolled past. So all we need is Patch right here, or Scribbler, sorry, Scribbler. Because there's nothing else that we really need to worry about, just those enemies, and Patch will follow. And now we have another cutscene we can't skip, so we just roll into it to go a little bit faster. He says, look at this area. It's flooded. Normally, you would want to use the fire in order to see where you're going, but as long as you know where you're going, you won't have to worry about using the fire to find your way through all that fog. So now with that, we are going to go up here. And what's this next area? Okay. There's no skipping anything up until later on. That bridge up ahead. Oh, that's fine. Oh, I hit the wrong button to actually change. That's fine. Not a big issue. The biggest issue is right here. We want to... Cool, we got it. So that was another fight skip, and this is another area where I can eventually get caught by the... Okay, we got past it without having to worry about it. So right here, you automatically go into this fight scene, so you just run around, get out of here as quickly as possible, and then go back in, and you won't have to fight them, like we've been saying before. And we are now done with this room. That's the one of the shorter rooms. Cool. I got past it. I struggled with that one. I wanted to make sure that I got it, so I took a little bit extra time. For some reason, that one is just struggling to me because I don't actually know where the thing is, the loading zone is. And that's what's, like I said, that's one of the main things in this game, is to skip past a lot of the fight, is knowing where all the loading zones is, so it's just a lot of memorization. Alright, on to the next area, and this skip is a doozy. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Patch onto this rock over here. Then we're going to drop him down and get that ice laid down for later. So then we're going to go over here and we're going to... I don't know if we need to do this at all, but I do it just for safety because I'm just not sure. Alright. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring Patch back to us by just rolling off and falling. That does not take away any hearts, luckily, so we're going to roll over here again. We're going to land up here, go over here, then we're going to get... That's the hard part about this. So once again, we're going to get Patch all the way over here, then we're going to get Scribbler onto the rock. This is why this skip is very annoying. So now we're going to down warp Patch, or Scribbler. Wow. We're going to down warp him to get onto the ice to skip having to do more of the level. Here we go. Now that we are done with that, unfortunately. Alright, let's go. I need you to not die, please. Because if he ends up dying, if either one of them ends up dying, then we have to pick up the other one, as you saw in the Stormcutter fight, the second boss there. So we're going to go this way. Oops, wrong one. Now we're going to go up here. And we're going to do another fight skip here. Awesome, awesome. And now we're just running and hoping that we can get past all these enemies without having Scribbler die. Good. That was really good. That was super fast. And no need to roll here at all. There's nothing that we need to worry about. Awesome. So now we skipped over that switch, and normally there would be a bunch of arrows flinging, as you can see by the catapults. We're going to run all the way around the outside edge, roll right there to get rid of a bush, and then run this way. We're going to switch over to Scribbler here, and then we need to switch over to the lightning because there's going to be a switch up here. We're going to hit that, and then roll over the emptiness. And then head through. Luckily I remembered there is nothing that we need to skip right here. So we can just go through. Hi Astrid, bye Astrid. So in this category that we're doing right here, Astrid is completely useless. Okay, that was another fight skip, and as long as we don't get caught, we should be fine. I have gotten caught once here before as well. Alright. Solid. So now there's just one more area over here that we want to roll over without activating all of the arrows. Which is right there. We're going to do it. And we are going. So right here, we just have to hit all the switches. We have to stand in that specific order, otherwise we would have to light it up. But if you just stand close enough, you're fine. We're going to fall into that, which will get us a lot closer to where we have to run up to get to the next switch. So just follow the area, then we're going to shoot down straight. Nice. That was really good. And now we're going to just run... Excuse me. We're going to run upwards this way. And we are going to run up here. We have to make sure that we get far enough in, and then we're going to shoot that statue. Then we're going to switch over to Patch. Scribbler. My god. Then we're going to run up this way because the next skips that are happening... So, what I forgot to mention is right there is actually another area for the VSync for the PC, so it skips a whole another section of having to go through all the switches. You could just push Scribbler through the rock once again, like you would earlier. So we're gonna do an up warp here. Gonna go run all the way over here, around here, because there's stuff in our way there. And then we're going to down warp here, go up this way, and we have now completely solved this puzzle. I don't know how to actually do that puzzle normally. When I was playing this game casually, I was learning how to speedrun it at the same time. So, I never actually did this section. Cool, I got both of those at the same time, which is good. That allows for us to not watch both of the cutscenes separately. There we go, get around that. And then we have one more very important skip coming up right in here. Hopefully I find the right spot. Cool, we got it. So this will completely skip having to fight that dragon. And then we have one more right here, if I... There we go. So we skipped another cutscene right there as well. And with that, we are now done with regular Blood Briar. So now we only have two. We have the Blood Briar Ruins, which has some pretty unique skips coming up in this section. Normally, you would have to... First, let me focus right here. I didn't skip it. You can skip this cutscene. But I was a little bit too late there. And we have one more Astrid skip coming up after this. We won't have to worry about skipping Astrid at all. But the setup that we're going to do to skip Astrid is actually a setup that I found after I joined into the game. It's very, very simple. Stand about right here, roll, and you're all set. It's one of the easiest ones to actually skip, besides the first one, which is just, let's see if we can skip that. Alright, we did it. I hate this one with a passion. So what's going to happen here is we're going to get this down, and then we're going to hit it again. Oh, then we're going to hit this one more time. Hit that down, and we're going to run over here. Hit that. Nice. That was actually... fastest I've ever done that, I think. We're gonna hit that, and then we're gonna switch over to Patch, who's then going to hit that over there, which allows for us to hit that as quickly as possible. We're gonna get another glitch coming up here. Okay, here's another fight. This is a very important fight skip. Cool. I wanted to line that up because it does not like me. We're gonna hit that switch. There we go. A lot easier than having to hit other switches in order to do it. You can just lock yourself into that corner and roll out of the way. Sorry about that. Completely forgot about that. So now with that, we are going to travel back and go back through here. We're going to run over here and down. This was not open before. This is the door that we just opened up. We're gonna go up here next. And we're gonna run down here and, whoops, I didn't skip that either. You can skip this as well. It's just showing you every place that you need to go. Now over here, we're gonna move this one. Then we're gonna run up here, we're gonna hit these two. Then we're gonna hit this one over. Switch to the fire. And then we're gonna hit that. Please, maybe. That was terrible. Trying to get the switch, but whatever. Now we're gonna run through here. And now we're gonna go on to this next switch up here. I switched over to patch as quickly, or to scribbler, holy crap. As quickly as possible, then we're gonna run over here. Follow the arrows. Oops, got stuck, that's fine. All the arrows down here. Do not hit that switch. I say that to myself every time because I have wasted a bunch of time just hitting that switch. Then we're gonna run up here and we're gonna hit this twice. And then we're going to hit that over that way. I switched to patch. We want to hit this out of the way, and then we're going to go to the main area here. We're going to get another one of those black cutscenes like we have in the past, because it's showing you what you just did. Normally you would just still be over there, but it's doing that little cutscene. Then we're going to go this way, and we are going to go back down this way. And instead, we're actually going to take Patch, and we're going to take him down here. We don't need Scribbler at all for this. We're just going to leave him back that way, because we'll go through this door. This is the door that we opened up. Then we have to hit that switch, go through this area, and we'll stay Patch, because the next area that we want to go to is actually... I tried to skip past this cutscene. It would be nice if we could skip the cutscene, but we cannot. The next section, we want to have Patch for it. So we're gonna roll this way, land on the switch just with our front feet. That was perfect. And then we are going to go up here, and we are going to hit that out of the way, that out of the way, roll in here. Land on that. I don't actually know if that's the way you're supposed to solve it normally, but whatever. That's the fastest way that we can solve that. We're going to roll back through and run up here. This next area, we're going to fight a couple of these dragons with poison on them. The fastest way to do that is by attacking with Patch here. Now, a while ago, I've been doing that for quite some time. That attack move with Patch, you're not supposed to be able to do that. What happens is if you hold A as well as X at the same time, it allows for you to do that tail spin. That's normally not supposed to happen. One more, there we go. We hit that switch. Now we're going to go through here, and we're going to have my favorite skip in the ruins here, the Briar Ruins. Oh, not yet, sorry. I was a little bit early. It's coming up, I promise. These guys, we're just going to go down here. And we're gonna run over here. And go back to where we originally started. This is why we don't want to go back to the start again. We just want to run through. Go through here, and then go straight. Now here's where there's a long fight scene here, but if you go to the very edge there and barely jump off, it'll kick you back that way, and you can completely skip this fight by going like this onto that, and one more roll on to here. Then we're gonna up warp right there, and we have completely skipped that fight scene, that fight sequence, which is really long. Now we're just gonna go through here, and we have one more unskippable cutscene going through this section right here. So we just roll into it. and we're gonna go down here, hit that, and then we're gonna get as close as we can. Door. Then we have our final skip before we go into the boss. And I've been struggling with this recently. I used to be really good at it. So, what we're trying to do here... Oh, we got it. Second try. Alright. So now, with that, we have Patch way up here. And now we got 2 potions as well, which is really good. And now that we've gotten through the entire puzzle here, we can now just roll through, and we have completed that area. So this is one of the few times when I actually want to start off with Scribbler first. Because the cutscene, or the boss in here, the Crimson Goregutter, is, used to be one of the longer and harder bosses, but recently I found a trick. We were theorized that you see the poison on the Goregutter's legs there. Normally you have to go up to him and hit them multiple times in order to destroy them, but we theorized that you can hit them from a distance and get those done and finish up the fight. Well, with that theorization, I managed to actually do it, and manage to, you're able to destroy both of the leg poisons from a distance, instead of having to go up to them each time. Alright, so, otherwise, we are going to go up, and we're going to move the block over one spot, instead of going all the way. Normally you would have to hit it all the way over to the left-hand side. We're gonna move the block over one this way. We're going to grab Patch, and we're going to go up here. And with this is where we're going to completely... You'll hear it hitting it. There's the both legs. Then we're gonna hit that, get the next phase, and we're gonna run down here, see if we can get through the entire... Oh, we almost made it. Where these rocks are kind of random. Now we're gonna go over this way and get the second chain. Don't know why that... Don't worry about our health, because we actually have a potion, which is really good. Oh, that's a time waster. Please move. Thank you. So we're gonna go through here, hit that, and now we're gonna finish off the phase here to hit his head. In order to do that, we're just gonna go up close. Oh, we got screwed over because we got stuck. There we go, and that is the fight. A lot faster than you would normally take this. And with that, we are just going to roll through. And we are going to go up this way. We're going to switch over to Patch so we can get this last potion. Alright, that pushed us through the cutscene. And now our final boss, as you can see, is actually air. If we do this good, we can finish this quite fast. So what's going to happen is there's going to be 3 phases, but all 3 phases are basically the same. What's going to happen is air is going to be throwing potions at us, and we just have to dodge them. So that's why I switched over to Patch here, because we're just going to be running around in circles. And then when it comes time for her to drop down, we're going to try and get behind her and stop her from doing her phases. There is a chance to die here as well, but I'm not... Since we have a potion here, I'm not too worried about it. So, like I said, I'm going to wait for her to start. We also have to watch out for the rocks that are falling from the ground, because they will hurt us as well. So we just watch out for the shadows that are down below. So that's phase 1 done. And here she comes down. Okay, that was really good. I only got hit once, which is beautiful. So the only problem is getting, yep, there we go, Scribbler hit. Okay, that's fine. To be safe, we're gonna use our last potion. And now she's throwing 3. 2, 3. Alright, and that was Air, the final boss. Easier than, in my opinion, the, another cutter. The second boss. Alright, and with that, we are heading off into the final section. A lot of this is just cutscenes. So, I want to thank you for watching this game. I've been working on this game and cutting down the times on it for quite a long time. I didn't start playing this until last year in 2020. But I really, really want this game to be shown off at a run. I think it's time for it to be shown off, and it's such a small community that I think it deserves a showing, finally. It's very fun to watch. It's very fun to run and show off. And the other runner, me and the other runner are very passionate about this game. And if you really like it, I hope that you are able to allow this in. So now that we're heading back this way, we have one more section here. So what's happening here is that Patch is actually dying from the from being turned older and older as the time goes on, and he's too old to actually be able to attack. And so we're going back here to see what we can do to try and stop the aging. But they say he's old. Would you want him to suffer it all in this old age with this, or would you rather him just unfortunately pass away? This is a very sad part for casual play. I actually did cry during this. But anyway, Patch is very, very sick, and unfortunately, he does just collapse. And then we get a terror mail saying, here's the resting place where all the dragons go to. And with terror mail, that means one other thing. Patch is alive. Patch is walking around. But also, with that, that means that we have to go on to the resting place of the dragons. So there's Patch laying there. Unfortunately, he's dead. And there we go. You're saying, wait, what's happening? We've never seen this before. He's an egg. Patch became an egg. So that's what happened. Air made it to where if the dragons were to be killed, they would turn back into babies, so she would never have to get rid of the dragons again, and she would always have it. And thus, this is why we have the Chimera Dragons. And here he is. Here is Patch, all a baby again. Alright, and now the timing comes up here in just a minute. Once we go into the credits, that's when we go into time. It's just mashing to the end here. Alright, almost done. There we go, and time. Alright. Well, thank you everyone for watching. I really, really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, I would really like for this to be shown off. And once again, my name is CTV Align, and thank you for watching.